My name is Florence and welcome to another video by Kenya Crime Daily. Today we have a developing story for you. By the way, at Kenya Crime Daily, we cover Kenya-based crimes, solved and unsolved on a weekly basis. If this is content you enjoy watching, you should definitely consider subscribing to this channel. Let's get started. Faith Mueni, an auditor at Kenya Railways, was brutally murdered by her husband, Harrison Mutisya Muiva, at their home village in Machakos country on the 26th of March this year, allegedly. Harrison is said to have attacked his wife with a panga and brutally murdered her before escaping the scene. The body of Mueni, 35-year-old and a mother of one, was found lying in a pool of blood at their home in Machakos. Harrison Mutisya Muiva is alleged to have killed his 35-year-old lover Mueni in a suspected love triangle. We know that the late Faith Mueni was an auditor at Kenya Railways. Her sister has told us a little bit more about the relationship between her sister and the husband. She said that Mutisya was a quiet person who kept a lot to himself, making it impossible to know if they had issues in their marriage. However, she alleges that the suspect used to tap into the deceased phone as he was very insecure in the relationship. Lucia further told the press, and I quote, "My sister did not consider it a big issue. She would defend him when questioned about the phone tapping issue by her friends. Maybe he had his own issues and insecurities. That is why she decided to butcher my innocent sister." End of quote. Now let's go a little bit into the night before the murder, the night before the incident. So on Friday, March 25th, Lucia, who is the deceased sister, was informed by the deceased that her and her husband were going to travel to Mutisya's family in Machakos. So the man is from Machakos and they have a family in Machakos. So if you're Kenyan, you know that we always travel to see our families in the weekends. We work in Nairobi, but during the weekend, we go and see our extended family. So this was not an unusual trip. This is something that they always did. That night, the couple had dinner together at their parents' house, I believe, and retired to bed. Lucia said she shared a message on her family's WhatsApp group at around 10 p.m., which the deceased responded to. However, the following day, the couple did not show up for breakfast at their parents' house, as was the norm whenever they visited. This prompted Mutisya's mother to check into the couple's house. Because I feel like this case is all over the place. So I might take you a little bit through a few things that I've picked up that might give us a timeline of events. At 9 a.m., the couple had not yet showed up for breakfast at their parents' house, as was the norm whenever they visited from Nairobi. At 10 a.m., the concerned mother, now the man's mother, went to check on her son and daughter-in-law, but they found the door locked from outside with a padlock hanging on it. They also realized that Faith Mueni's car, the deceased, was missing from the compound where she had parked it. So obviously the father, which is the father-in-law to the deceased, fearing the worst, he decided to go and find a spare key and open the door. When they opened the door, the child, who had spent the night in a separate room, was found watching TV in the sitting room or living room, if you like, perhaps waiting for mommy and daddy to wake up. But unknown to her, mommy would never wake up. As soon as the father realized that, he was a bit suspicious, so obviously he decided to go ahead and open the son's bedroom, which was also locked, but he had a spare key, so obviously fearing for the worst, Mr. Muiva's father decided to open the door to his son's bedroom using a spare key, only to be confronted by the cold corpse of Miss Mueni, a 35-year-old woman. Excuse me. Mueni was found lying in a pool of blood with her throat partially slit, right hand cut in several places, and her head had a deep cut wounds, which seemed to have come from a panga or something very sharp. Her husband was missing, as well as the car that they had traveled in. As you can imagine, the gruesome murder has sent shockwaves across the village, with family and friends at loss about what just happened to an otherwise, they've been described as very peaceful young couple that didn't appear to have any issues. The suspect murderer is still at large at this point, and as well as the car that he is suspected to have used to fled the home is still missing. So far, in regard to investigations, the Directorate of Criminal Investigations, DCI detectives visited the scene and recovered a knife and a machete believed to have been used to kill Mueni. Lucia said Mutisya's family gave the detectives contradicting information about the ownership of the panga, raising a lot of eyebrows. The DCI asked the family if they knew the panga that had been recovered from the toilet. His mother obviously denied, but the father accepted. They might be hiding something, said Lucia. Mutisya's family argued that someone entered the couple's house, killed the lady, and abducted their son. However, Mueni's family questioned how could somebody have kidnapped the son or even killed the daughter-in-law, because clearly there was no forced entry. Clearly, the door was locked from outside. So again, the family does not believe this. The bereaved family also questioned how the family did not hear any noises, did not hear any sound coming from the house, considering that the houses are really close by each other. Another thing, Lucia said, my sister went missing in the morning. Why did they have to wait until the evening to inform us? I think they were giving him time to escape. They also believe the family is communicating with Mutisya, informing him about the ongoing investigations. Mueni's family added that the murder was seemingly planned earlier, as Mutisya's certificates and clothes were missing from their Nairobi house. The couple's vehicle, which he is suspected to have used to escape, was also discovered as of last night. His phone signal was last traced in Makueni. The man who is on the run as we speak is said to have deactivated all his social media accounts. The family insists, and I quote, my sister and her husband spent the night at her husband's home, and that morning Harrison could not be found. We want to know where he is and what happened. We want justice for our sister. The matter was obviously reported at the Konza police station in Machakos. We have not heard anything from them since, and we request the government to speed up the investigations. Machakos DCIO Simon Waidaka said they had received the report on the killing from the area assistant chief, as is protocol, and they are working on the case, doing everything they can to bring to book whoever the murder is. Ms. Mueni was an auditor with the Kenya Railways, while Mr. Muiva is an auditor at Bosco Paints in Nairobi. Mr. Waidaka said the police had found the murder weapon, a panga, in the toilet at their Machakos home. Unfortunately, the husband was still missing. He is on the run, and this has made the police suspect that he could be the one who did it, Mr. Waidaka said. He appealed to the public to provide any information that could help the police arrest the suspect. So again, this case is still with the police, it's still being investigated, and I will continuously and progressively report if there's new information is coming through. So thank you so much for coming back. Thank you so much for watching this video. Catch you next time. Bye.